Hello there, YouTube. This is Samaras Hunter bringing you my version of the Triple D or Different Dimensions deck profile. I know this is a couple of months late, but I figured it better now than ever. It should be worth mentioning that this is one of my personal favorite decks and one of the best I've ever played. So let's get right into it. So first, I run the 3 of the ever important Double D Swirl Slime. There we go. This is one of the most important cards in the deck. And its effect reads, if this card is in your hand, you can fusion summon one Triple D fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand as fusion materials, including this card. You can then banish this card from your graveyard to special summon one Double D monster from your hand. You can only use the card each effect of Double D Swirl Slime once per turn. I'll let you get a good look at them. So essentially, if this card's in your hand and its brother, which will be up next, is in your hand, you have the perfect combo play to get out 2 fusion monsters. And speaking of its brother, 3 Triple D Necro Slime. Necro Slime has the effect that if this card is in the graveyard, you can fusion summon one Triple D fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your graveyard, including this card. You can only use the effect of Double D Necro Slime once per turn. So Swirl Slime, if you have both Swirl and Necro Slime in your graveyard, just use in your hand. Use Swirl Slime's effect with Necro Slime. Pop out a fusion monster. Banish them both. Then using Necro Slime's effect, you banish both it and Swirl Slime to get out another fusion card. If you have yet to figure it out, which I'm pretty sure you already have, then you would know that this deck revolves around field dominance. One of the best tuners in this deck is Double D Lamia. Took me a while to figure out how to pronounce her name. For those of you who don't know what a Lamia is, by the way, it's a half-human, half-female, half-snake creature that feeds on the blood of men. She usually lures them in by crying or being by the riverside asking for help. But enough about that. I gave you this information because you wouldn't believe the amount of people who don't know what a Lamia is, even though they play this card. I believe that you at least have to have some prior knowledge to what it's based off of. But that's just me. Its effect is, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can send one Double D or Dark Contract card from your hand or face up on your field into the graveyard, except Double D Lamia. Special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use the effect of Double D Lamia once per turn. So, I like to summon it, then synchro using it, then use its effect to pop it out of the graveyard and synchro it again for a level 8 monster. Bear in mind that this deck is sort of set up for the Link format. As you can still use it for that format, it's just harder for you to get out your monsters. But remember this, Link summoning does not limit you from the graveyard. Speaking of graveyard, Double D Savant Thomas. I run 3 of them. It's a scale 6. And its pendulum effect is that during your main phase, you can add one face-up Double D Pendulum monster from your extra deck in your hand. You can only use this effect of Double D Savant Thomas once per turn. This pretty much kind of nullifies the whole you can only special summon from your hand when penduluming. and not from the graveyard. So it kind of renders that it kind of makes a loophole there for you. While its monster effect is, you can target one double D monster in your pendulum zone, destroy that card, and if you do, special summon one level A triple D monster from your deck in defense position. But for the rest of this turn, its effect, if any, are negated, and any battle damage your opponent takes becomes halved. You can only use the effect of Double D Savant Thomas once per turn. It's a useful card. It's a quick way of getting out Triple D Doom King Armageddon. Provided you want its effects negated, which usually you don't. Another incredibly important card in this deck is Triple D Oblivion Abyss King Abyss Ragnarok. It is a scale 5 monster. Its pendulum effect is that if you special summon a double D monster, except during the damage step, you can target one double D monster in your graveyard. Any battle damage your opponent takes becomes halved for the rest of this turn. Also special summon that monster. And if you do, take 1000 damage. You can only use the effect of Triple D Oblivion King Abyss Ragnarok once per turn. While its monster effect is that if this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one Triple D monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use this effect of Triple D Oblivion King Abyss Ragnarok once per turn. As well as once per turn, you contribute another Double D monster, then target one monster your opponent controls and banish it. I mostly use this card for its monster effect. You can use it for its pendulum effect. And unfortunately, Link Summoning does limit Abyss King Ragnarok's resurrection ability, sort of. No, wait, no it doesn't. It comes from the graveyard. Never mind, you're good. I also like its banishing effect. It's actually bailed me out on more than one occasion. Next, I run 3 Double D Savant Kepler. It is a scale 10 monster. It's one of the best scales you can get. And you cannot pendulum summon except Double D monsters. This effect cannot be negated. Once per turn, during your standby phase, reduce this card's pendulum scale by 2, then destroy all monsters you control with a level greater than or equal to this pendulum scale, except Double D monsters. It's worth mentioning that I do not use this for its pendulum effect. I have another scale 10 monster I use that for. I use it for its monster effect, which reads, if this card is normal or special summon, you can activate one of these effects. However, you can only use one once per turn. You can target one other Double D card you control and return it to your hand, or add one Dark Contract card from your deck to your hand. I usually use the Dark Contract effect. It's an easy way of getting out either Dark Contract with the Gate or Dark Contract with a Swamp King easily into my hand, which I will then promptly activate. Next, I run 2 Double D Savant Copernicus. It is a scale 1 monster. Its pendulum effect reads that you cannot pendulum summon monsters except Double D monsters. This effect cannot be negated. Once, while this card is in your pendulum zone, you can negate an activated spell effect that would inflict damage to you, then destroy this card. So you get one free negation, but you have to destroy Copernicus in order to use it. Luckily, there are some cards that allow you to add it back to your hand, so you can reset your scale. So no harm done. Its monster effect is that if this card is normal or special summon, you can send one Double D or Dark Contract card from your deck to the graveyard, except Double D Savant Copernicus. You can only use this effect of Double D Savant Copernicus once per turn. I usually use it for its scale. I don't typically use any of its effects, unless I need to. Now, as for that other scale 10, he's right here. Double D Savant Newton. It has the exact same, it is a scale 10, and it has the exact same effect as Copernicus. The only difference is it only works on trap cards. So I'm just going to skip its pendulum effect and go straight to its monster effect. You can discard this card, then target one Double D or Dark Contract card in your graveyard, except Double D Savant Newton, add it to your hand. You can only use this effect of Double D Savant Newton once per turn. It works hand in hand with Copernicus in both its monster effect and its pendulum effect. Copernicus nails spells, he nails traps. Copernicus sends a card to the graveyard. He allows you to pull it out and put it in your hand. What's not to love? It's a dangerous combo, I can tell you that much. I also run 2 Double D Vice Typhoon. This card. Oh, let me tell you about this card. When this card is normal summon, you can tribute 1 Double D monster, special summon 1 level 7 Triple D monster from your deck. During your main phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can fusion summon 1 level 8 or higher Triple D fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your graveyard, including this card. You can only use the effect of Double D Vice Typhoon once per turn. This card is the card you mainly utilize to get out incredibly powerful fusion cards. It's dead useful. I run just 1 Triple D Doom King Armageddon. I don't see any reason to run any more. It's a scale 4 monster. Its pendulum effect is that once per turn, you can target 1 Double D monster you control. It gains 800 attack until the end of this turn, even when this card leaves the field. Its monster effect is that once per turn, if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one of those monsters. This card gains attack equal to that monster's original attack until the end of the turn. If this card cannot attack your opponent directly during the battle, the turn this effect is activated, it cannot be destroyed by spell trap effects that do not target this card. This card is interesting in the fact that, in addition to its attack gain ability, this card works in reverse to most cards. Most cards state that it cannot be targeted for effects. This one's the opposite. This thing can pretty much steamroll right through Mirror Force and still hit your opponent. Unless the effect specifically targets this one, he can't be destroyed. It is awesome. I blew one of my opponent's minds when I told him that. He was like, I activate Mirror Force. And I'm like, all these monsters are destroyed, but you're still taking 3,000 direct damage. I win. And then I explained the effect to him, and he's like, ugh. Blew his mind. I run 1 Double D Orthos. He is a scale 3 monster, and once per turn you can target 1 spell or trap card on the field and 1 other Double D or Dark Contract card you control and destroy them. Not sure why you'd ever want to use that effect. If anyone would care to explain to me, I will gladly listen. Its monster effect is when you take battle or effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned to your field, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except Fiend type monsters. Good news! Oops. Good news! This entire deck is nothing but Fiend. I run 1 Double D Night Howl. This card is the second best tuner in this deck. Here's why. When this card is normal summon, you can target 1 Double D monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except Fiend type monsters. The monster's attack and defense become 0. If it is destroyed, you take 1,000 damage. I'm not sure if the destruction effect counts if you use it for synchro summoning, but I'm going to assume it does. Oh well. But it works nicely when you use Double D Baphomet. I just use 1 of it. Once per turn, you can target 1 Double D monster you control that has a level except Double D Baphomet, and declare a level 1 to 8. It becomes that level until the end of this turn. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Double D monsters. What a surprise! So basically, he can change his level to be whatever you need him to be when synchro summoning. Or heck, XZ summoning. Really useful card. I like using him in combination with Night Howl. Sorry. And lastly, I use one Double D Ghost. It's another tuner. I don't find myself using it very often, but I run it anyways because of its effect. And that's if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Double D monster or Dark Contract card in the graveyard, except Double D Ghost. Send one card from your deck to the graveyard with that name. If this card is banished, you can target one of your banished Double D monsters or Dark Contract cards, except Double D Ghost, and return to the graveyard. You remember that Necro Slime you banished? Here's how you'll get him back. Moving on to the spells, I run 3 Dark Contract with Negate. This card is essentially a search card. You essentially search out a 1 Double D or Triple D monsters, as they are both in the same category. And you can only use it once per turn, but every standby phase you'll take 1000 damage. I will explain how you counteract this effect in a minute. Okay, maybe not a literal minute, but whatever. I only run 2 Dark Contract with a Swamp King. This is your fusion card. You can use materials from your field and hand and graveyard if it's for a different dimension card. And just like with Dark Contract with the Gate, you'll take 1000 damage every standby phase. I use 1/1 You just ditch a card and add a level 1 monster to your hand. 1 Foolish Burial, toss a card in the graveyard from your deck. I run 3 Allure of Darkness. This card, when activated, allows you to draw 2 cards, but you must banish a dark attribute monster. Every single monster in this deck is a dark attribute, so there's no shortage of banishing materials. That's it for the spell cards, and I only have 1 trap, and that's Dark Contract with the Witch. I'll have to read out its effect in order to explain it to you better. And it's that you can send 1 Double D or Dark Contract card from your hand to the graveyard, then target 1 card on the field and destroy it. You can only use this effect of Dark Contract with the Witch once per turn, but this is why I mainly run it. All Fiend-type monsters you control gain 1000 attack, but this is only during your opponent's turn. And just like with every other Dark Contract, pay 1000 life points every standby phase. But boy, is it worth it. That's it for the main deck. Now on to the extra deck. I run 1 Triple D Wave High King Caesar. It requires 2 level 6 Fiend monsters. And its effect is that when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated that include an effect that special summons a monster, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Then you can make 1 other Double D monster you control, and this card gain 1800 attack until the end of this turn. If this card was sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Dark Contract from your deck to your hand. It's a very useful card, in the sense that you negate a card's effect, then it and 1 other monster you control gains 1800 attack, and when it gets blown up, you get to add Dark Contract from your deck to your hand. I also run its devolved form, Triple D Wave King Caesar. It requires 2 level 4 monsters, and basically it allows you to reset the board during your opponent's end phase. And when it's destroyed, you can add 1 Dark Contract from your deck to your hand. So, it's a very nice card. I run 1 Triple D Super Doom King Dark Armageddon. It's a scale 1 monster, and its pendulum effect is that if you have 1 other Double D monster in your pendulum zone, you can special summon 1 Double D Xyz monster from your extra deck. why not use it? Its summoning is that it requires 2 level 8 triple D monsters. And cannot be pendulum summoned. When this card is XZ summoned, you can attach 1 face-up double D pendulum monster from your extra deck to this card as material. So that's nice. It gives you an extra XZ unit. Pendulum monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Once per turn, detach 1 material from this card, target monsters your opponent controls equal to the number of pendulum monsters you control, and destroy them all. If it's destroyed, you can place this in your pendulum zone. It's a really awesome card. Believe it or not, I do run just 1 Stone King Darius. Do not worry, I plan on replacing him. He requires 2 level 3 Fiend type monsters. During either player's turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material and target 1 Dark Contract you control, destroy it, and if I do, draw a card. If this card battles an opponent's monsters, during damage calculation, detach 1 Xyz material from this card to make this card unable to be destroyed by battle, but the opponent's monsters get destroyed regardless. You inflict 500 damage to the opponent. That's why I run it. Even though my friends think it's a garbage card. I run 1 triple D Marksman King Tail. Mostly for its attack reduction when I take effect damage. And that's pretty much its effect. You can use you can also use it, in addition to being able to use 2 level 5 monsters to make it, you can also use triple D Wave King Caesar to make him. So that's nice. Always nice to have options. One of the best cards in this extra deck has got to be Triple D Duodon King Kaliuga. It requires 2 level 8 double D monsters to create it. However, as Triple Ds is nothing more than a subcategory to double D, they work as well. After this card is special XZ summoned, for the rest of the turn, other cards and their effects cannot be activated on the field other than card effects on the fields that are negated. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach 1 XZ material from this card and destroy all spelling traps on the field. You can also detach an XZ material from this card to target 1 Dark Contract in your graveyard to set it. You cannot activate it, but you can set it. That's it for the XZs. On to the Synchro. I use 1 Triple D Super Doom King Bright Armageddon. It's also scale 1. And once per turn, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, target 1 Triple D Synchro monster you control. Destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible with defense less than or equal to the targeted monster's attack. If you do, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. Oh man, that is one hell of an effect. That is awesome as heck. That's all get out. It requires 1 double D tuner and 1 non-tuner triple D monster. You can also use more than 1, but meh. Your opponent cannot target monsters you control with card effects. Okay. If another monster is normal or special summon while this monster is on the field, except during the damage step, you can make your opponent choose 1 pendulum monster they control, and all other monsters they control have their effects negated. If this card is in the monster zone is destroyed, place it in the pendulum zone. I'd rather use its dark counterpart for the pendulum effect. And just because it allows me to get out Duodon King Kaliuga. Around 1 Triple D Gust High King Alexander. He requires 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner monster. 1 or more non-tuner. Sorry. If 3 or more Triple D monsters are on the field, this card gains 3,000 attack. 1 second. It already has 3,000 attack. So it pretty much doubles. That is awesome. If another double D monster is normal or special summoned to your field while this monster is on the field, you can target 1 double D monster in the graveyard and special summon it as well. You can only use it once per turn. Gust King Alexander, he's one of your resurrectors. He requires 1 double D tuner and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. It also has the effect, but you can only use it to resurrect a level 4 or lower double D monster. I run 1 Triple D Cursed King Siegfried. He's an effect negator. He requires 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner Double D monsters. Additionally, when it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, gain 1,000 life points for each dark contract you control. I try my best to control 3. On to the fusion, I run 2 Triple D Flame High King Genghis. He's a resurrector as well, and he requires 2 Double D monsters. Also, when he's destroyed, you target 1 double dark contract card in the graveyard and add it to your hand. The only difference is that he can resurrect any monster in the graveyard. He's not picky. I run 1 Triple D Dragon's Bane King Beowulf. He's essentially a walking heavy storm. And he requires 1 Triple D and 1 Double D monster. I run 1 Triple D Wave Oblivion King Caesar Ragnarok. You can target when you attack. He requires 2 Triple D monsters. When you attack with this card, you can select 1 monster you're not attacking, equip it to this monster, it gains the attack power. I love this card so much. Now on to one of the best fusion cards, Triple D Oracle King D'Arc. It requires 2 Double D monsters, and any effect that would inflict damage to you, you gain that much life points instead. So it pretty much reverses the effect of burn damage. Well, that's it for my deck profile. Be on the lookout for my Rocket deck profile and an updated Cyberse deck profile. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and sorry about that. And I will see you all in the next video. Oh, and if you subscribe, don't forget to hit that little bell so you can be notified. And thank you.